Hi and welcome. John Farrell with the Farrell Law Firm, where we specialize in helping families create thoughtful estate plans. Today, we're taking you on a journey through time to explore the fascinating history of estate planning, how it all began, how it's evolved, and how it impacts your life today. Believe it or not, the concept of planning for the future and passing on wealth has been around for thousands of years. So settle in and let's dive into the incredible history of estate planning and how it shaped the modern tools we use today. Our story begins thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt, one of the first civilizations to document estate planning practices. Egyptians believed in the afterlife and wanted to ensure their wealth and possessions accompanied them, or were distributed appropriately. Pharaohs and other elite members of society created detailed plans to transfer property, jewelry, and even land to their heirs or religious institutions. Interestingly, wills at that time often included instructions for preserving the deceased's body through mummification and maintaining their tombs. Estate planning was as much about securing an afterlife legacy as it was about earthly wealth. Other early societies, like the Babylonians, also made provisions for distributing property after death, but these often took the form of oral agreements or family traditions rather than written documents. Let's fast forward to ancient Rome, a civilization that gave us many of the legal principles we still use today. Romans were the first to formalize estate planning by writing down wills, which they called testamentum. These documents ensured that property passed on to the right heirs and minimized disputes. They also introduced the concept of appointing an executor, someone who would oversee the distribution of the estate. This concept has stood the test of time and remains a cornerstone of estate planning today. Here's an interesting tidbit. Roman wills often included specific conditions for inheritance. For example, heirs might be required to marry someone from a particular family or fulfill a task before receiving their inheritance. Can you imagine a condition like that in your will today? What would you request? As we move into medieval Europe, estate planning became even more structured, but it revolved heavily around land, because land was the primary source of wealth. Feudal laws governed inheritance, and it was common for estates to be passed down intact to the eldest male heir. This system, known as primogeniture, ensured that large estates stayed within families to maintain power and influence. But what about trusts? Trusts as we know them today originated in 12th century England. During the Crusades, knights leaving for battle placed their land in the hands of a trustee to manage it on behalf of their families while they were away. This arrangement not only protected the land, but also avoided some taxes. Yes, even back then, estate planning was partly about tax efficiency. Trusts eventually evolved to include broader purposes like protecting assets from creditors or ensuring care for minors, a purpose we still use them for today. Let's bring the story closer to home. In colonial America, estate planning largely reflected the agricultural nature of society. Most families depended on farmland for their survival, so passing land from one generation to the next was critical. The probate system we use today has its roots in colonial America. Wills were often contested in colonial courts, which were responsible for overseeing the administration of estates. While the process was simpler than today, it wasn't without its challenges, especially for women and children who often had limited inheritance rights. One fascinating historical case involves George Washington's will. He left detailed instructions for the emancipation of his enslaved workers, a rare and progressive move for his time. His estate plan reflected not only his values, but also the complexities of wealth and responsibility in that era. Fast forward to the 20th century, and estate planning began to change dramatically, largely due to tax laws. The federal estate tax was introduced in 1916 as a way to generate revenue and limit the accumulation of wealth in a few families. This led to a growing need for strategic planning to minimize tax burdens. Trusts became even more popular, especially for high net worth families. People began using tools like irrevocable trusts and charitable trusts to reduce their estate taxes while benefiting causes they cared about. At the same time, estate planning became more accessible to the middle class. Homeownership and retirement accounts grew in importance, and people began to see the value of creating wills, powers of attorney, and other basic documents to protect their families. And let's not forget the role of insurance. Life insurance policies became a key estate planning tool in the 20th century, helping families replace lost income and cover estate taxes. Today, estate planning is more important and more complex than ever before. In addition to traditional assets like real estate and investments, we now have to consider digital assets. Think about your online accounts, social media profiles, and even cryptocurrency. Without proper planning, these digital assets can be lost forever. That's why modern estate plans often include provisions for digital access, so your executor or loved ones can manage your online presence and retrieve important information. We're also seeing more diverse family structures, like blended families, same-sex couples, and unmarried partners, which require a unique estate planning strategy to ensure everyone is protected. From ancient Egypt to today, one thing has remained constant. Estate planning is about protecting what matters most, whether it's preserving wealth for future generations, caring for loved ones, or ensuring your wishes are honored. Estate planning gives you control and peace of mind. At the Farrell Law Firm, we specialize in helping families navigate these challenges with tools that honor the past and embrace the future. So what's your next step? If you don't have an estate plan yet, or if it's been a while since you reviewed yours, now is the perfect time to act. Call us or visit our website to schedule a consultation. We'd love to help you create a plan that works for your family. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as we put out new videos almost every day, and please hit the like button because, hey, every like helps. Remember, estate planning isn't just about documents, it's about building a legacy. See you next time.